I'm sure if you are anything like me, you have people in your life that you pray for consistently to know God in a relationship. And over the course of time, you have prayed prayers to tears, burdened with um, the fact that they don't know God. And over time, you try to communicate to your loved ones that they need God. You need to surrender to God. Um, that path that you're walking down is destructive. Um, it's not the will of God, and sometimes even satanic and demonic. Some of the paths and the journeys that some of our loved ones are choosing to take. And what happens over the course of time is they reject you. Well, it feels like they're rejecting you. They mock what you believe sometimes. They don't want to hear what you have to say anymore. Um, and it can become so frustrating that sometimes you just kind of take your hands off of it, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I've been thinking a lot about how, when you survey your families sometimes and you see um, demonic influences and strongholds and demonic possessions, even to a certain degree. And it burdens you so much. And I wonder if God has assigned some of us to be chain breakers in our families, not necessarily to witness, but to plant and to water seeds of sacrificial prayers and consistency in this season that might bear fruit 2 generations from now when we're long gone. But I know that Satan sometimes he wants to frustrate us out of planting those seeds and watering those seeds. And sometimes all you can do is pray. Pray and continue to be the light. Pray and continue to teach when those opportunities are afforded. Um, Pray and walk in the light and be that example. But yeah, Satan, he wants to frustrate us out of praying those prayers, even to tears sometimes, for those loved ones in our family that need God, that are rejecting the presence of God and living for God. Satan wants us to take that attitude. Well, they just don't want it then, so that's on them. No, don't take that attitude, because that's what the enemy wants. God has assigned you to be a chain breaker, and the sacrifice of prayers that you offer in this season will bear fruit in a future season. You might not get to see it, but God is assigning us to plant, to water, but the increase is His business. It's not yours. It's not mine. But I just need to be obedient and pray, knowing that God doesn't want anybody to perish, but He wants everybody to know Him in a relationship. That is His will. And as stubborn as my loved one is, as rebellious as my loved one is, as blind as they are, God still wants them to be saved, because His word says that, and I believe that. And so I'm going to pray like I believe what God says in His word. So my prayer, even for myself, is, God, that you open my ears that I can hear, open my eyes that I can see, and open my heart that I might receive. But don't give up praying for that individual. Your hands are tied, and that's fine. But it's no such thing as a powerless Christian, because we have the power of prayer. And if you believe that God is who he says he is, and if you believe that God can do what he says he can do, keep praying. Keep praying. You plant, you water, let God give the increase in his own timing, and trust that.